very good evening, all of you. Good evening, Abhishek. I can see Abhishek. I can see, yes, I can see Abhav, Abhishek, Aditya Bajaj, Ananya, Anju. A very good evening, all of you. Harshita, Harshal, Hardik, Gaurav, Garv, Muskan, Nikita. A very good evening, all of you. Before we begin, I would want a quick brief from all of you. So the agenda of today's webinar is how to juggle work and college with UPSC preparation. My name is Dimple Nankani. Welcome to Edukemy. This is the agenda of the webinar. Before I begin the webinar, I want to know from all of you here, when are you preparing? As in, what is the attempt that you plan to prepare for? So that we can give you a quick summarization of what should your particular strategy be. All of you, a quick ice breaking session before we start off with the webinar and the agenda of webinar. Please let me know. Okay, Abhishek says it is my first attempt and I would be attempting when? Okay, first attempt 2020. 2023, 2024, and your stream as well, as in whether you are at work or whether you are in college, and if you are in college, what is the stream as well. Okay, 2024. Okay, we have, okay, let's see for 2024, 2023, 2025. Yes, first attempt 2024, college, commerce. Okay, I believe majority of you would be appearing in 2024 and many of you would be working or in college, right? So if you are preparing for 2024, so here basically you have around, so today this is your February 2022. We move on and assuming that exam is on 2024 June itself, right? So we have roughly around 26 months. Okay. 26 to 28 months. Okay, 26 to 28 months that we have. It is good enough a time for you to prepare for the examination, right? And if I break the examination, I have to prepare for 3 stages. The first stage is the prelim stage, second is main, and the third stage is the interview stage. Okay, so prelim stage, main stage, and interview stage. And let me tell you, your prelims examination has 28 months, right? After that, you would have your mains examination in couple of 110 to 120 days. And then again, you have some time. So your examination, which starts in June 2024, basically ends if you clear in your first attempt, that is in your June 2025. So it is 1 year from now. That is this 28 months and 12 months. This is around 40 months that we have for our preparation, right? So you have a good enough amount of time. 40 months time is too good for you to prepare for the examination, right? So if I start with the first 28 months that I have, okay, assuming that either you are working or you go to college. So I assume if your college or your work hours starts from 9 and it goes to 6. Okay, if I assume that is the normal work hours and the college hours, so here, okay, you have around, if you get up at 6, you have around 2 hours in the morning, and you have couple of 4 to 5 hours, at least say 4 hours in the evening, right? And in between also, this is the 9 hours. In between also, at least you can juggle up for 1 hour. Okay, so roughly you have around 6 to 7 hours for your preparation. 6 to 7 hours for your preparation. All of you, do you agree with me on this, that yes, we can take out around 6 to 7 hours for our preparation? Okay, if not 6 to 7 hours, let's say let's say if we go for around 5 hours, 5 hours plus 1 hour. Okay, here let's say this is your 3 hours. In the morning you have 2 hours, in the night you have 3 hours. This is 5 hours plus 1 hour, right? So you have around 6 hours for your preparation. Okay, so let's break this 6 hours. If I break this 6 hours, okay, in this 1 hour, right, in this 1 hour, which is something that I'm taking out while I'm doing my job, while I am working. So my suggestion would be, in this 1 hour, try getting yourself into CSAT mode. Okay, CSAT mode or your maths mode, or you can start your English reading comprehension. Okay, some bit of passage reading and then trying to solve a question on that. Or you can go for LR, logical reasoning. So it's like a break from the normal routine, but even in the break that you are taking, you are actually focusing on your studies. The first thing that I want to convey to all of you here is you have enough time. You have enough time, 28 months. If you start before your prelims, okay, you have good amount of time for your preparation. Okay, so my suggestion would be, divide your day into 3. One is your normal work life or your college life. Then you can have the morning slot. Okay, you can have the morning slot, and you can have a late evening slot. Late evening slot. So if we say morning slot, okay, so some of you would be early risers, you would prefer morning slots, and some of you would prefer your late evening slot, those who want to stay awake in the night. Okay, so my suggestion to you would be, depending on what you are, basically if you are an early riser, take those subjects like your GS subjects, okay, like the GS subjects which require a lot of concentration for you. Okay, in the morning hours, if you are a morning person, if you are an early riser, and if you think that you can focus better in the night, then you take GS subjects which requires a lot of concentration in the night time. What all do we have to manage? We have to manage 2-3 things. One thing that we have to manage is our GS paper, both for the prelims as well as for the mains examinations. We have the essay paper for the mains examination. We have the optional paper 1 and 2. Okay, then this is what we have for our main core subjects. And in the GS, we have one static portion and one is the current affair portion. In the static portion, we have a few things that we have to cover. We have GS to be covered, we have essay to be covered, the optional to be covered, and static portion, as well as the current affairs portion has to be covered. So 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. 4 things are something which are important for us. Let me tell you one thing, that does anybody of you are aware of what is the GS marks in your mains examination? Okay, I'm aware. I think you would be aware of the stages: prelims, mains, and your interview stage. There are 3 stages. Prelims, mains, and interview stage. Right? In your GS, it is there in the prelim stage as well as main stage. For GS, we also have CSAT. Okay, so in the prelims we have CSAT as well, and your GS is about your current affairs as well as the static portion. So current affairs as well as the static portion, right? So you have to prepare for GS, you have to prepare for essay, you have to prepare for optional, static, and the current affairs also. And what is the time that we have? So the time that we have around 24 to 28 months. We have 24 to 28 months. And we also have around 6 hours daily. In this 6 hours, we have 5 plus 1. When I say 5 plus 1, right, this 5 plus 1 we are reserving for CSAT in the mid break, and then we have this 5 hours. In this 5 hours, we have a good 2 hours. Good 2 hours and 3 hours. This good 2 hours is one wherein you can cover a particular subject, or you can concentrate in a better manner. So if I say, and what I have to cover, this is what I have, this is the hours that I have, And what all I have to cover? I have to cover firstly prelims examination. Prelims examination. In the prelims examination, I have a GS to cover. In the GS, I have what to cover? In the GS, I have history to cover. I have economy to cover, polity, science and technology, environment, and geography. This is one thing. I have CSAT to cover. I have for the mains examination, for the mains examination, I also have essay to cover. Okay, we have apart from this, we have IR, we have security issues, right? We have society and social justice, right? And we have ethics also. Okay, so IR, social justice, society, security, and you have ethics. So this is what is there, and your optional also, Now, in your mains examination, what actually helps in a best manner for you to clear your examination? Firstly, let me tell you prelims. Okay, prelims is qualifying in nature. Prelims ka bas cut off hi nikalna hai. Okay, and then you have the mains. It is called as mains because it is the main examination in which you score, and that determines your rank. So if this will enable you to write the examination, mains is something that will help you to score and get your rank along with the interview. So in the mains examination, if I take into consideration which is the most important subject, the most important subject is your optional. Optional is about 500 marks. Okay, so for you to clear your examination, you need 3 things in your hand. One, okay, you need to qualify prelims, then only you can give mains. I agree. But in mains, you need 3 things in your hand. One is your optional. The other is ethics paper, because ethics paper will require less amount of time, but is very scoring. Ethics can be a breaker or a maker. People score as low as 90 marks to as high as 160 marks in ethics. So your optional, ethics, and essay, they are very important for you. Now, understand, you cannot prepare it differently for your essay. You will have to utilize your GS knowledge. For essay, you would require reading comprehensions, you would require a writing style, but the content has to come for your GS examination only. So what you have studied for your GS, that only you will have to apply. So for us, if we have this amount of time, our CSAT is sorted. Now with the 5 hours that I have in my mind, what I have to do is I have to first break up these 24 months. First, I will break these 24 months. So if I have 24 or let's say 28 months before my prelims examination, if this is my prelims examination, right? So the last 4 months I will give dedicatedly for my prelims. Last 4 months is something that I will dedicatively give to my prelims. Here, then I have around 24 months. In this 24 months, that is, I have 2 years, right? My first priority would be, because I am just new to the examination, right? I will have to first create a base for me to understand subjects. So here, either you can start off with your NCRTs. Okay, so start off with the NCRTs. Okay, for your basic concept building, you can go for, you can take around 3 to 4 months for you to cover your NCRT in the sufficient manner, right? So when I say 2 plus 3 hours, okay, here in this, what is your preference? Your preference is for the first 3 to 4 months. For the first 3 to 4 months, you focus on NCERT plus you hear one current affair video. Okay, so for example, here in Edukemy, we have a Gazette. Every day in the evening, you have a Gazette video. So for 1 hour, you can listen to that video. See, you are not at this stage wherein you can understand the newspaper in a nice manner. Even if you read newspaper, it would not be enough for you to understand, because you don't have interlinkages with you. So here for interlinkages to be established, the best way wherein you can actually prepare for your current affairs is by watching a video like Gazette. Okay, so for 3 months, 3 to 4 months, my focus is on NCERT, plus I have to do current affairs by a video or some booklet. Okay, so that's what will happen for 3 to 4 months. Then after 3 to 4 months, here once you have started off your basic concepts, okay, then you still have, so the 4 month is occupied, this 4 month is gone, you still have around 20 months in your hand. Okay, so 20 months is good enough amount of time. Year after your NCERT, once you have the basics cleared. Okay, yes, Abhishek, the link for the current affair video gazette will be provided to you. Okay, so here after these 24 months, after these 4 months that have started, now for you, what is the time that you have? You have around 20 months with you. Now you have 2 plus 3 hours, morning slot and the evening slot. Here you start going to you start with your classes. The classes for your optional, okay, for the optional, as well as classes for your GS. Okay, so one in the morning time, even if you cannot attend the regular classes like from 9 to 6 because you have your college, okay, you can attend the recorded sessions and also some of the sessions wherein you can get the help from the teacher also. So here in Edukemy, what do we do is you can view the recorded videos and you can get back to us. We are available for the doubts. We are available to handhold you for your examination. We have a commune, we have a Telegram groups wherein those who have taken admissions in the optional or your GS, you can ask the doubt to the teacher and a teacher is available for your doubts handling. Yes, okay. So this is about the class. So here you can utilize the next 4 months for the class. Next 4 to 5 months. Okay, you can utilize for your class. So I would again repeat, I have a 28 months in my hand. These 28 months, what is the timeline? The first 3 to 4 months, I am reading NCERT and I am also covering the current affairs via a video. Okay. You can also join us on the bridge course. Those who cannot understand NCERT, those who do not understand NCERT, there is a bridge course wherein we teach the students about the NCERTs. We try to cover the NCERT and we try to cover thematically. Okay. So here for the 3 to 4 months, focus on your NCERT. Then for around 5 to 6 months, you focus on your optional. Focus on the optional plus your GS preparation. Okay, plus your GS preparation. So this is 3 to 4 months. So around 10 months has gone now, and this your prelims examination is here. Before the prelims examination, you have around 4 months wherein you can go for test. You can go for some crash course if you want to. Okay, you can revise what you have studied. Okay, just revise what you have studied. So how many months? We have around taking 14 months. Despite taking 14 months, we still have around 14 months left. We have still around 14 months left. So when we have 14 months left, this is good enough a time for you to revise and consolidate everything. Year after completing your optional and GS preparation. So let's say if you go for revision, for this, okay, for around 2 months, still you have 12 months left with you. In this 12 months, you can go for test series. Okay, so that you put yourself into the testing conditions. So here, it's not important for you to actually skip your classes like your college. It is also not important for you to quit your work. Okay, so here you can manage. You have 2 plus 3. You have around 5 hours. This 5 hours stretched over 28 months is good enough a time. So here you can apply for your test series. Sit down, write for 3 hours, write for 2. If it is your prelims examination, you can write for 2 hours. If it is your mains examination, you have to write for 3 hours. Okay, so your test series would continue for about 4 to 5 months. So you can go for 4 to 5 months of the test series, right? You've taken the test series, revised test series. Despite that, you have enough time. You have enough time for your mains revision and prelims revision So all of you, did you understand what is the timeline that you have to follow? After you have completed the NCERT reading, from here you can start off reading a current affairs booklet. From here you can start reading a current affairs booklet. When I say reading the current affairs booklet, you can see Gazette, you can also see Cosmos. Both of them are available on the website. Edukemy website. You can visit the website and check for yourself. But my suggestion to you would be, first you start watching the videos. Okay, focus on the videos, understand the concept, understand the linkages, and then you start off with the current affairs booklet. What happens is, many of you feel that because you are working, because you are in college, you don't have enough time. You have enough time. Okay, you have more than enough time. Because see, what you have started today, the same enthusiasm you have to continue for 40 months, 28 months for your preparation, and another 12 months for while you are writing your examination. While you are writing a prelims examination, while you're writing a mains examination, you will have to continue focusing upon that. All of you, did you understand the timeline? Okay, so what have I covered? What have I covered here? What have I covered? I have covered, if I look at this here, if I look at this, I have covered my GS. I have covered, okay, in the GS also, you have to cover your ethics. You have to cover IR, security, social justice. If you follow a good test series, right? If you follow a good test series, your preparation gets automatically, streamlined, because the test series is actually placed in such a manner that your sufficient portion gets covered in sufficient amount of time. So when you cover a test series, in this test series, you will cover your GS portion of history, geography, economy, your IR, social justice, right? We have the ethics test coming up. We have your security issues. You have science and technology, the environment portion, geography portion. Okay, so this all gets covered in your test series. So whenever you join a test series, which roughly runs about 5 to 6 months, okay, then your preparation automatically gets streamlined, and the feedback that you receive are so personalized that you know what is the mistake that you are doing while you are writing answers. Is it fine, all of you? Is this plan appearing to be doable? Have you all opted for your optional? Have you thought about what optional you will take? Or is you are still at a very nascent stage? थोड़ा मुश्किल है मगर सह लेंगे. What is the issue, Abhishek? What is the issue? Is a 5-hour study scary for you? Is 5-hour study? So let's break it down to 4 hours. Then what is the issue? How many of you have decided which optional you have to take? Or is that from your graduation stream, or you are still in the deciding phase? It's sociology. Okay, Oppo says sociology. Sociology is a good option. Oppo. Rest, all of you? What option we have in commerce related optional subject? Babita, there is commerce also which is available. So commerce as a subject also is available for your optional. Okay. You have history, we have sociology, we have PSIR. Okay, optional mein the famous optionals are geography. We have PSIR, that's also a good option. Public administration, sociology. You have other choices like commerce, Law, right? Law is something that is available. You have engineering subjects also which are available. Those who are engineers, I don't know why many of them don't opt for it. Probably you know what is taught to you in your college is not something that will help you in your examination. So starting off with your NCERT. Okay, so when for 3 to 4 months you have to go for your NCERT, what you have to do is, see, for you have to start off your NCERT from class 6 to 11th or 12th. Okay, now what happens is the same topic which is covered in 6th class is also covered in your 7th class, is also covered in your 8th class, 9th class, 10th class. Okay, so what happens is, if you go class wise, for example, you thought that I will do class 6 NCERT today, I will continue class 6 all the NCERTs, I will finish history, geography, economy, science, tech, sociology. I will finish all this in say about 10 days, or let's say about 12 days. If I try to finish this, what happens is, when you have read 6th NCERT and then when you move on to understanding the 7th NCERT, the same topics get covered but with different details. So rather than going class wise, what is important? Don't go class wise. What is important is you go theme wise, as in you go subject wise. So if you start off with geography NCERT, say you start off with geography NCERT, you move on from class 6 to class 12. Okay, this way you have your concepts revising also. You keep on revising your concept. The revision is very frequent and therefore you remember the concepts better. And the second thing is, because you have studied everything at the same time, then you have the better clarity of concepts, because at some place some other detail is given, at some place at some other detail is given. So go theme wise. If you start with geography, complete geography from class 6 to 12. If you start from history, complete the history from 6 to 12. If you start with economy, complete it from 6 to 12. So complete these NCERTs. And when you are reading this NCERT, what you can do is, when you are reading the NCERTs, you have to underline the important points. Okay, this is the NCERT that has been written. Please, you have to highlight the important points. Okay, so highlight the important points, because the next time when you are reading your NCERT, then you can see the highlighted portion. And they will help you in better revision. They will help you in the better revision. Yes, they will help you in the better revision. So here you can actually do this. Go theme wise. Now what happens is, many of the students, they don't understand what to read from NCERT. They don't understand what to read from NCERT. Okay, whether every point is important, whether every sentence is important, that's what they try to don't understand. This happens because you have a very nascent understanding of the examination. So if you have not understood the examination in entirety, then you will not understand that which point is important and which point is not important. So what happens is, at the end of the reading NCERT, you end up marking the entire NCERT. So for this, what we have tried to do is, we have this bridge course, okay, which is like a bridge, okay, wherein at whatever stage you are, before you join any foundation class, okay, the foundation class, the level of difficulty is high. In any foundation class, the level of difficulty is high. And what is your stage? Your stage is this. Okay, then, okay, so for you to reach at this level, because you are at this level, there is this bridge course. Okay, this bridge course helps you understand that what point is important. How do you interpret money? What is money? For example, if I take economy example, so you know what is money, but why do we need money? How has the money forms changed over the centuries? right? What is demand? What is supply? So these concepts, probably many of them you do not understand, especially as complicated subject as economy. So here, this is where the bridge portion helps, because when you read NCERT, even if you read NCERT thematic wise, many of the information, they are repeated so many times that they become redundant. So for you to avoid this redundancy and to help you avoid the redundancy and to help you how to connect to the examination. Okay, connect to the examination. You can apply, go for the bridge course. Yes, Pankaj, I know you are part of the bridge course. You have the bridge course at 6. We will try to wind up the session in next 10 minutes so that you do not miss your classes as well. We know we do care for our students. Don't worry for that. Okay. So this is about your bridge course or the NCERT. So you have to cover your NCERT in the initial go. Along with NCERT, do watch the video for current affairs for you to understand. For example, if Ukraine is facing threat from Russia, why is Ukraine facing threat? What is a sea in which Ukraine is, is basically jutted into? Where is Black Sea? What are the countries which surround the Black Sea? Is something you will have to make a lot of effort while you try to read it on your own. So it is very important that you read some good current affairs or you watch some good current affairs video, right? So this is done for your NCERT. Moving on for the optional. One of the good criteria for you to select your optional. Okay, I want to tell you one thing. Optional versus GS. Okay, your GS in your mains examination is roughly about 1000 marks. Okay, not essay, the GS, that is 250 for each paper, and your optional is about 500 marks. If you look at the score, the average score in GS is around, 350. I would rather say 350 is a good score. Rather, I would say it is around 330 to 340 is the average score in your GS, which is around what? Which is around 34%. 34 to 35% is your average percentage in GS. But if I look at the optional, the average score in optional is around 250, which means that it is about 50%. It is about 50%. So though GS appears that it is of a greater weightage, but when I say that optional is a maker or a breaker, because if you study your optional properly, your optional rewards you more. Okay, so basically whether to focus on GS or optional, that has to be balanced, but the tilt is more towards the optional, because optional is much more rewarding than GS paper. GS paper was not as rewarding, and even in GS paper, what is rewarding is your GS paper 1 and GS paper 4. That is, GS paper 1 has what? The GS paper 1 has history, has a geography, has your society or social justice, and GS paper 4 is ethics. So ethics as a paper is 250 marks, okay, which is 1/4 of GS, which is about 1/4 of GS. But in this 260, you can score as high as a 140 to 160. Okay, so what you have to do is, while you are preparing for your GS and optional, keep a little more tilt towards optional, because optional is more rewarding as compared to GS preparation. And in GS preparation, what is important for you to do is ethics and essay. So ethics and essay is very important because they are also more rewarding. Okay, so once you have done this, you have, you actually have to choose your optional very wisely. When I ask that, what is your optional? The reason I'm asking you this, what is your optional subject, is because optional is more rewarding. If you choose it wisely, if you choose your optional wisely, you will get better marks. Now, when it comes to the question, what do you mean by choosing an optional wisely? How do you choose an optional wisely? There are 4 to 5 criteria. one of the most important criteria is, one of the most important criteria is your interest, whether you like the subject or not. Second, whether the subject is scoring. Do people score as high as 320, 330 marks in that optional? The third thing about your optional is overlap with GS. The overlap with GS. So if you select an optional like psychology, like psychology, it does not have any overlap with GS. But in contrast, if you select a subject like geography, it has not only the overlap with your geography portion, but also for prelims, you can see that geography touches your geography portion, environment portion, and also some part of economy portion. Even in the mains examination, geography covers some portion of GS paper 1, around 80 marks. The portion of GS paper 3, which is the environment portion, which is roughly around 40 to 45 marks, and also economy portion, which is about 25 to 30 marks of economy, is covered by a geography optional. So this also is a very important criteria if you select which optional do we choose from. Should we select geography? Should we not select geography? Should we just select psychology? So 3 things please keep in mind: the scoreability, whether the subject is scoring or not; interest, do you have the interest in it or not; and the overlap with GS. At the end of the day, as a students, as a working professionals, you need to be a good manager, and you can be a good manager when you understand the overlaps between different things. It is about juggling. Yes. No, I am not very sure whether computer science is an optional available. Computer science is not an optional probably that is available, but you can check for yourself about from the UPSC website. Okay, so please understand the overlap also. That will help you to score in your GS as well as optional in a better manner. I would leave, we have around 10-15 minutes. I would leave the house open for the questions. Please, if you have any questions, please ask us. We are here to solve your doubts and to help you in your preparation. I'm waiting for your doubts. Mayank has raised the question. See, Pankaj, for ancient history, how much weightage should you give? If you look for your prelims examination, the prelims examination history has modern history, ancient history, medieval history, and art and culture. So if from your modern, there comes about 8 to 9 questions. From the ancient, medieval, and art and culture, there are about 8 to 9 questions. So roughly 50% weightage is for modern and 50% weightage is for your art and culture, medieval and ancient. My suggestion to you would be, you have to do modern. That's something that has to be done. 8-9 questions in your prelims examination is too much, a good deal. From these 3 things, ancient, medieval, and art and culture, focus on any important 2 things which you think will interest you. So for some of you, it might be art and culture and medieval. For some of you, it might be medieval and art and culture. For some of you, might be ancient and art and culture. Focus on any 2 things, which is because it is more wise to cover good 2 things. It is better to cover any 2 subjects in good details rather than covering all the 3 in a shallow manner. Now, when you also look at your mains examination, in the mains examination also, 1 or 2 questions comes from art and culture, ancient and medieval. Okay, so roughly all of them, they have around 3 to 4 questions from them. So if they have 3 to 4 questions in your mains examination, which is good deal. Okay, because not all the questions will come from modern or world history or post-independence in your mains. So here, you please focus on any 2 and do them in great details rather than focusing on all 3. Okay. Yes, Abhishek Bakare, the link has been provided to you for the Current Affairs Gazette, right? I hope you have received the link. Thank you, Pankaj, for asking. Anybody else who wants the questions to be addressed? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. What for test series, what is the correct time to start? For prelims test series or mains test series? Pankaj, for your prelims test series, the good time to be start when you start off with the when you start with the preparation after NCRTs. So you would start off joining a coaching after 3 to 4 months from now. For 3 to 4 months, you would be focusing on NCRT. So when you join any coaching, you have the test series embedded in it. So my suggestion would be for prelims, you actually start the coaching along your test series along with the coaching. For mains, my suggestion would be start here. Start 1 year before your examination. Okay, start 1 year before the examination for your mains. Okay, then all of you, bye-bye, take care. I think not many of you have some questions, right? Okay, then bye-bye, take care.